For me, as a former player who played a long time in the NFL and has the opportunity now to be a fan and watch some of these guys, and you look at Xenith and some of the things that they're doing with their helmet, it's really tremendous, because I basically worn every helmet possible. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to wear that one. I think the biggest thing, though, is, you know, a helmet's going to help you, and shoulder pads are going to help you, and those are the things that you wear. For me, as a guy who played and now who has a 10-year-old son and an 8-year-old son who play football, for me, the most important thing, and I've always I think it's the most important thing, it's about proper technique. Because no matter what you got on your helmet or which kind of shoulder pads you got on, if your technique is not proper, it really doesn't matter. You know, it's always about keeping your head up, and obviously Devin will speak to this as a guy that plays defense and hits a lot of people. So it's about keeping your head up, keeping your head out of there, using your shoulder pads. That's what they're there for. The helmet it should really just be there to protect your face more than anything. And I think that's the biggest thing, you know. And as a guy who now coaches youth football and see a lot of younger kids out there, and you know, my son is one of those kids that plays, and both of my sons play. For me, it's always about reiterating the proper technique. If there's something wrong and you don't feel right, throw that hero mentality out the window. Make sure you're telling your coaches, obviously parents, you know your kid better than anybody. You know, like I said, my son I know better than anybody, and fortunate enough for me, I coach him and I'm around, but as parents, you know them better than anybody. So when they come home, if something ain't right, maybe you know something's off with your child. You gotta make sure these kids understand, coaches, parents, hey, if there's something wrong and you don't feel right, speak up.
The brain floats in a pool of fluid inside your head. And with a traumatic event, it's kind of like you put a ball in a glass of water, strike like this, it goes bang, bang, bang. So some of the early symptoms are headaches, dizziness, nausea, fatigue, lack of motivation, poor concentration. And so when someone gets injured on the field, if it's just a simple bang, I think, you know, they come off. And again, what's important is the interface.
We always keep an eye on each other, so, you know, we really take it upon ourselves if a guy comes back in the huddle and, you know, he's not looking how he usually looks, we'll speak up. So I challenge all you kids, you know, when you're out there with your friends, your buddies, you know, their safety is way more important than that game that you're currently in. And I just want to let you guys know that before I really get started. I know it probably sucks to see Ray Rice on that screen all night. I'm never excited to see him. No, that is exactly how it started. I actually went down to his camp. We came to college together, and we entered Rutgers the same year. He just left early. So we're really good friends, and I'll go down to his camp. He comes to my camp, and I went down to his camp, and he actually had an all-black chrome helmet. And I was looking at it, I was like, that's the helmet you wear? That's the helmet he was talking about? So I actually tried it on. I was messing around with it, and you know, then that training camp last year, Xenith actually came up to the stadium and I got fitted for the helmet. Just going to speak on my experience, I was actually in one of the older helmets my first 2 seasons in the NFL. They came to us and they told us no longer would they allow any of the players to wear the older helmets that were the same actually when I first started playing when I was 10 years old. So I first switched to a Ride Out Revolution helmet, and it was cool. I liked it a little bit. It wasn't perfect for me. I wasn't a big fan of it. So I actually got to throw the Xenith on in training camp, and for us, that's the best time. You know, you're out there. We're not quite wearing it for 26 miles, but we're wearing it for a long time in training camp, and you really can get a good fit. You're out there hitting, and that's when I got excited. You know, the little things that I felt in my old helmets, I wasn't feeling anymore. I was able to do things and, you know, not have those little headaches, and, you know, sometimes just having the helmet squeeze my head so tight that as soon as I get off to the sideline, I had to take it off. It just had a better comfort level, and, you know, I think everyone said, you know, no helmet to prevent a concussion, but I think as a player, when you go out there and you feel comfortable, you know, you're able to go out there and play, you know, the technique and play hard and play to your best of your ability.